Hello and welcome back. This is the second episode in our video series, Finances in Retirement Villages, proudly brought to you by the Retirement Village Residents Association with support from New South Wales Fair Trading. In our first video, we looked at the costs of entering a retirement village. In this episode, we're focusing on what happens once you've moved in, particularly the ongoing costs of village life. We'll explain what these costs are, why they exist, and how they're calculated. Our aim is to keep everything clear and easy to understand, so you'll always know where your money is going. So let's look at what are you paying for. The Retirement Villages Act requires residents to reimburse the operator for the cost of running the village. These reimbursements are known as recurrent charges, and they help keep the village running smoothly and safely. These recurrent charges usually cover building insurance, maintenance of gardens and facilities, staff wages, community cleaning and electricity, local council rates, which may or may not include water rates, and repairs and maintenance of village assets. Another question is, who pays for what? One thing that often surprises residents is that even though you don't own the village's buildings or facilities, you're still responsible through your recurrent charges for maintaining and repairing them. However, the operator is responsible for replacing an asset when it's no longer economical to repair. This is where the Asset Management Plan and the Capital Works Fund come in, which we'll refer to later in this video. Each year, usually around April or May, the operator prepares an annual budget for the next financial year. This budget includes all the expected running costs of the village. These total costs are then divided among residents and paid as recurrent charges. Your contract outlines how much you pay and how these charges can be varied over time. There are usually two ways that variations to these charges will be calculated. Either as a fixed formula linked to a benchmark like the age pension or the CPI, or as the amount required to cover the forecast expenditure in the next annual budget. If your contract uses a fixed formula, the increase is automatically applied. Where the increase isn't using a fixed formula, it's aligned with the rises in the Sydney All Groups Consumer Price Index. This means that if a proposed increase is at or below the rise in the CPI, it is automatically applied. However, if the operator needs to increase fees above that consumer price index, they must get approval from the majority of residents in order to do so. You might have heard of the Capital Works Fund, which is used for planning for the big jobs. So how does that work? Most villages maintain a Capital Works Fund. This is money set aside for larger, long-term jobs, such as repainting buildings every 10 years or resurfacing paths. This fund belongs to the residents. By law, it must be kept separate from the operator's money. It must also be audited annually, and it can only be used with resident approval. Think of it as a smart way to spread out big costs over time, so you don't get hit with unexpected bills. An amount to be paid into this fund is generally included in the annual budget each year. Another key element is the Asset Management Plan, which helps us know what maintenance is ahead of us. The Assets Management Plan lists all the major assets in the village, like buildings, heating systems, communal furniture. It shows what those assets cost to maintain, when they'll likely need replacing, and how this fits into the long-term budget. This plan helps improve transparency and make sure future costs are fairly shared. It's a work in progress, but it's an important step in making sure villages are well maintained and well managed. So what other costs do we need to keep in mind? Aside from the charges we've discussed, you'll still be responsible for your own private expenses, including electricity, gas, phone, internet, and contents insurance for your personal belongings. Building insurance is included in your recurrent charges, so that's already taken care of. What are the issues to consider if you want to make changes to your unit? If you want to improve your unit, for example by adding new lighting, air conditioning or solar panels, you'll usually need to get approval from the operator. When you leave the village, the operator might ask you to remove those additions or pass ownership of them to the incoming resident. For instance, if you install solar panels, you or any subsequent resident may continue to be responsible for them. So what happens if the budget doesn't balance? Sometimes the operator's budget doesn't match actual spending, so what happens then? If the operator overspends, they generally cover the extra cost. If they underspend, the law provides options, such as carrying the surplus forward or returning it to residents. This helps maintain trust and fairness in how your money is used. And that's a wrap on our second video. We hope it's helped explain what ongoing costs look like in a retirement village and how the system works to ensure these costs are fair and transparent. In our next and final episode, we'll look at what happens when you leave the village, including the fees and processes involved. Thank you for watching, and remember, understanding your costs means protecting your future.